lives have become increasingly interconnected on a global scale, the need to share large amounts of data in a secure way has grown significantly. Today, a user in Bangalore is watching videos made by a user in Sao Paulo, and they want the video to be quickly accessed and of good quality. For organizations worldwide, from media and social to gaming, getting large amounts of data to where it belongs is one of the most fundamental challenges faced. That's why Google Cloud has developed 2 large data sharing jumpstart solutions to help you understand how to deploy a data sharing app on Google Cloud to distribute large-sized assets to a global audience more easily, securely, and faster, ensuring that you always keep the freshest content closest to your user. When sharing huge data assets, the systems created are complex, distributed over multiple regions, and need to follow security boundaries. The data needs to be highly available while also being able to scale quickly to make sure users are getting the right content at the right time without having to wait. Sure, you could set up a cloud environment yourself with all of the necessary components, but it can be a struggle to set up an infrastructure and content delivery network, CDN, that covers all of these variables, not to mention the management and monitoring involved. Well, let's flip that and reverse it. Using CDNs doesn't have to be so complex. These 2 large data sharing jumpstart solutions were designed to help reduce the barrier to entry for you to explore possible ways to configure your architecture on Google Cloud, so you can enable a CDN in a way that meets your requirements for security, reliability, operational efficiency, scale, cost, and performance, allowing you to serve content to users globally and understand how those users can interact with your CDN using different types of media files. When we say global, we mean it. With our CDN on Google Cloud, you can really expand the amount of edge nodes you use to enable bidirectional content where your users are, saving time and keeping your users happy. The best part is that Google Cloud will automatically create and configure all of the necessary resources required when you deploy the solutions in the console, and manage those resources, removing the complexity of infrastructure setup and management, paving the way for you to focus on what really matters for your business. The solutions, one in Java and another in Go, can be thought of as the basic stack for how to quickly get started with a large data sharing web application, image classification API, and a CDN. They cover how to upload an initial set of objects, populate objects to a global network, and optimize for use of the CDN cache, including understanding things like how client round-trip analytics work. After you work on the basics, more advanced concepts are focused on, like developing a large data sharing application at scale, particularly focusing on how to incorporate more sophisticated CDN topics like supporting large-scale user uploads, downloads, and metadata management across geographies. By the end of your interaction, you should be able to understand the large data sharing user pattern, how to store and serve objects in a cloud-based object storage service, how to deploy an application that uses a distributed CDN to serve many objects, and how to monitor all of this so you can keep everything running smoothly. Above all, this should be simpler and more straightforward than any other interactions you may have had with CDNs in the past. There's no need to make any changes to the code for the CDN to work, although it is an option if you like. You just turn it on and it's ready to go. Once the application is deployed, a set number of files are uploaded with metadata. You can then access the front end of the web app like a user. You can explore the home page, search for a file by tag, and click on a file to view details about it. From here, you can upload a new version of the file or edit the tags associated with it, download the file, or delete it. You can also upload a new file with tags. Or you can explore the deployment as an admin in Cloud Monitoring. This allows you to see Cloud Run's performance and CDN metrics through custom dashboards. The CDN dashboard will show the total number of requests that have come in, cache status by count, hits and misses, and more graphs with variables like latency and responses by continent and country. In the Cloud Run dashboard, you can see information about request and container count and latency, as well as CPU utilization and allocation. These dashboards will help you continuously track and improve on your app as needed based on the data you see. The solution works like this. The data sharing web app, in this case of images, is composed of a front end using Angular, which we just saw, and a back end running on Cloud Run. Cloud Run automatically scales your infrastructure up and down as needed. The primary purpose of the CDN is to scale content for consumption by your users. If a request comes in to view a file, there are a few plausible pathways to help fulfill this request. If the file has been cached, the request is routed to Cloud CDN and there's a cache hit. This is the fastest way that users will be able to access content. If it's the first time the file is being requested, the file is not cached, and the request is routed through the backend to cloud storage to fetch the file, also known as a cache miss. A mix of the two is considered a partial hit and can only happen when a request is served partially from cache and partially from backend. When a user makes a request to upload a file, the path is slightly different. The request is routed via a load balancer to the front end. The front end routes the request to the back end, where the file is then stored in cloud storage, and the metadata about the file is stored in Firestore, a fully managed, scalable serverless document database. That image is now available for the CDN to consume. To further explore these two solutions, customize them, learn another way to deploy them, or troubleshoot any issues, a solution guide is available with many more tips and details. For additional hands-on learning, you can follow our interactive tutorial, which walks through step-by-step how to build your own application images or change the initial files used. It's important to note that these Jumpstart solutions are a great way to explore the capabilities of building a large data sharing app on Google Cloud, but are not intended to be used as is for production environments. In just a few minutes, you can learn how to deploy a large data sharing web application on Google Cloud that allows you to scale your content to a global audience quickly and securely. Check the links in the description to try out these Jumpstart solutions today.